Look at a world map. Now trace a straight line from Los Angeles to Tokyo. It looks simple, but if you check real flight paths, you'll notice something strange. Planes don't fly straight over the Pacific. They curve upward, sometimes thousands of kilometers off course. And the reason isn't navigation, it's survival. Because out there, over the Pacific Ocean, there is a hidden limit in aviation, one that decides whether a flight is safe or a disaster waiting to happen. And most passengers have no idea it exists. The Pacific Ocean is the largest open space on Earth. No land, no emergency cities nearby, just thousands of kilometers of water in every direction. So at first glance, flying straight across it seems logical. Shortest distance, less time, less fuel. But aviation doesn't work on straight lines. It works on safety margins. And over the Pacific, those margins start to disappear. Commercial aircraft like those flying under airlines such as Boeing or Airbus are incredibly advanced. But even the most advanced aircraft have one critical limitation. If something goes wrong, they need a place to land. And over the Pacific, there is almost nowhere to land. That changes everything. Because it's not just about engine failure. It's about what happens in the first 30 minutes. After something goes wrong at 35,000 feet. And over the Pacific, those minutes decide everything. Modern long-haul aircraft are built to handle engine failures. A twin-engine plane can technically fly on one engine, but only for a limited time. This rule is governed by something called ETOPS, Extended Range Twin-Engine Operational Performance Standards. But you don't need to remember the name. Just understand the idea. It defines how far a plane is allowed to be from an emergency airport at any point in flight. Now imagine flying over the Pacific. If an engine fails mid-ocean, the nearest runway might be hours away, not minutes. Hours, and that's just engine failure. Now add cabin depressurization, medical emergencies, electrical system faults, fire warnings. Each scenario demands one thing: a safe landing nearby. But the Pacific offers very few options, so instead of flying directly across, airlines design routes that bend toward islands and emergency diversion airports. Places like Hawaii, Alaska, or remote Pacific airstrips. That's why flight paths look curved on maps. Not because pilots are avoiding water, but because they are staying within a safe emergency radius at all times. And here's the part most people never think about. The ocean doesn't forgive miscalculations. There is no safe landing in water for a passenger jet. But flying over the Pacific is so restricted. Why do flights still exist between continents separated by it? The answer lies in one of the most carefully calculated systems in aviation history. Every trans-Pacific flight is planned like a moving safety bubble. Aircraft constantly calculate how far they are from diversion airports, how long they can safely continue if an engine fails, and what weather conditions are developing ahead. Modern navigation systems on board aircraft from companies like Boeing and Airbus constantly update these calculations in real time. If conditions change, routes shift mid-flight, sometimes slightly, sometimes significantly. This is why you'll often see flights curve north toward Alaska or south toward island chains. Because pilots are always staying within emergency reach. There is another factor too. Fuel efficiency alone is not the priority. Safety distance is. A slightly longer route over land or near islands is often chosen over a shorter path over deep ocean. Because over land, there is always a runway somewhere. Over ocean, there is none, and despite all this planning, pilots still face a psychological reality. Once you are far over the Pacific, you are committed. There is no easy turnaround, no quick landing, just thousands of kilometers of open water beneath you. That reality alone is enough to change how flights are designed. But here's the twist most people don't expect. There are situations where planes do cross the Pacific in more direct ways. So why is it allowed sometimes and avoided in others? The answer is technology and redundancy. Modern long-range aircraft are designed with extreme reliability. Engines are tested for thousands of hours. Systems are duplicated multiple times. Navigation is satellite supported. Weather forecasting is precise down to flight corridors. Because of this, aviation authorities allow long overwater flights under strict ETOPS certification. This means aircraft can fly a certain number of minutes away from the nearest diversion airport. The higher the certification, the farther they can go safely. That's why modern aircraft can cross parts of the Pacific more efficiently than older planes ever could. But even with all this advancement, one rule remains unchanged. Safety distance always overrides shortest distance. And that is why flight paths still bend. Not because the ocean is impossible, but because aviation is designed to assume failure is always possible and plan for it. So the real reason planes don't fly straight over the Pacific isn't fear, it's discipline. A system built on one principle. If something can go wrong, you must always have a way out, even if that way out adds thousands of kilometers. From the ground, flight paths look inefficient, curved, indirect, overcomplicated. But from the cockpit, every curve has a purpose. Every deviation is a calculated safety buffer. Every extra mile is insurance against uncertainty. The Pacific Ocean isn't avoided because it's dangerous to fly over. It's managed carefully because there is nowhere to land if things stop going as planned. And in aviation, distance is not just about travel time. It's about options. The more options you have, the safer you are. And if you think trans-Pacific flights are carefully planned, wait until you hear about the airport where pilots land while surrounded by water on every side, with storms that change runway conditions in minutes, and where one mistake means there is no recovery at all. But that's a story for next time.